Good afternoon. Today is July 25th, 2015. My name is Catherine Grubar. I'm conducting an oral history interview at the American Legion Post, Leroy, Illinois, with Rebecca Spellmeyer. Please state your name and address for our record.
Rebecca Renee Spellmeyer, 607 North State Street, number 5, in Gibson City, Illinois.
Okay, we're going to jog your memory first. Which of the war did you serve in?
I did not get to go over.
Okay, and you enlisted?
Yes.
What was your age when you enlisted?
We signed my paperwork at 17 and I went in at 18.
And where were you living at the time?
In Gibson City.
And you were single?
Mm-hmm.
Why did you join?
My father was a Vietnam vet, and I just really kind of looked up to him for that. And in high school, I was kind of told that I wasn't going to do anything worthwhile. So I said, people like me don't go to college, so what's left? And the military was one of those choices.
Why did you pick the branch that you joined?
This is funny, we were just talking about that. We had like a career fair at my school, and I went around to all the branches and asked them if they had medical, because I've always been obsessed with like paramedics, and I knew they had medics in the military, and the only ones that had medical was Navy and Army. So I went home and talked to my parents, and I said, Navy or Army? And my dad goes, you are not going into Navy, no. I said, okay, Army then.
Do you recall your first days in service? And what was it like?
Yes, I do. It really wasn't all that bad. I knew what to expect. We left from Indianapolis, got on a plane, and they had a sign, got it on like a bus, and then we went to like an in-processing place, and the next morning we ended up getting to our place, and of course they did the whole get on the footprints thing, and I expected all of that. But when I was actually assigned to my unit, we were on the cattle trucks, and our unit, of course, was the one that had to put the bags up and down the whole way there. And then, of course, like they always do, your very first thing is they do it called smoking you, which is a bunch of exercises. It's push-ups, scissor kicks, and I forget what the other one was. But we had to do this, and they would call them out like really fast, and you had to really listen. I remember one of the drill sergeants coming over and getting in my face. It was like, you're going to be on permanent kitchen duty. And he walked away, and I was kind of like, because I knew that base did not have kitchen duty for basic training. So, and of course, we had to do the lineup of all the bags, and that ended up being on the end of your video, and it's kind of neat to see how crooked they were, and then they got straighter and straighter. And finally we got to our barracks, and it was a temporary barracks because it was during the summer, and you have the split ops kids. But so it was just, I think, 4 trailers, and ours was the only one that was split with like the bathrooms in the middle. So 3rd platoon had their own side and 4th had their own side, and ours was the only one like that. The others were they were on each end, but there was nothing in the middle. So it's kind of nice that we had our own little area.
Where was your boot camp?
I went to Fort Leonard Wood. So there's only 2 bases that train females, and Fort Leonard Wood is actually the harder of the 2.
How so?
It's just a little bit rougher. The rappelling tower is 40 foot versus 30 foot, and they're just a lot more, I guess, rougher on us than they are there. They kind of let them go easy at Fort Jackson.
Did you get to go home on leave after boot camp, or did you go straight to your assignment?
I went straight to Fort Sam Houston. I didn't get to see them. They came, of course, for my graduation, but I didn't get to actually go back home until Christmas.
Do you remember your instructors?
Oh yeah, I remember quite a few of them. The one thing that I remember the most and still very, very proud of our senior drill sergeant. He was airborne ranger special ops. He was everything. We saw him in his Class A's one time, and he had so many medals, the secret joke was if he got one more, he'd fall over. He had that many. But he called me into his office the day of graduation. I'm like, crap. Because he was a like hard guy. You did not want to be on his bad side. And he said that in all of his years of being a drill sergeant, he had never seen a recruit that had the core values as deeply instilled in them from day one as he had with me. And he said, "You're a soldier we're going to be reading about." And I remember leaving, and I turned to my battle buddy, Jennifer Bowen, and I said, "Was it just me, or was he kind of starting to tear up?" And she goes, "Oh no, I saw it too." So it was kind of really something to be proud of, to know that he was, that hardcore and said that to me.
How did you get through boot camp?
One day at a time if I had to.
Did you have any special buddies in boot camp?
Not really. We later found out, 5 years after I was out of the military, that I have autism, and that makes it very hard to connect with people and make friends. But I was extremely loyal, though, to my company.
Okay, we're going to go to your experiences. Where exactly did you go?
My permanent duty station was Fort Polk, Louisiana. It's the 115th Field Hospital.
Okay. Do you remember arriving there and what it was like?
We got there, it was dark, and we had to go to like where they keep the in-processing people, and we were there for about a week. And then one day this lady came and they just rattled off some names, and she was on like a van and took us to the company, and we started in-processing at the company.
What was your job or assignment there?
I was combat medic. We were at the field hospital, but I ended up in the squad that took care of the like minor wounds, where they couldn't go back out to service right away, but they had to stay in the hospital. They would stay in our unit.
Tell me about a couple of your most memorable experiences.
The one with that senior drill sergeant is one that I really remember quite a bit. And another one in basic, all of the other recruits, they went to this other drill sergeant, and I don't know if necessarily they'd say they complained about me, but they tried to say that I didn't meet the requirements to graduate. They did not want me to graduate with the company. And the next day, I think it was, we went into our bay, which was the 3rd platoon. It was actually the barracks, the boys' barracks for 3rd platoon. And that drill sergeant just ripped them apart for doing that, because they went after a soldier that had 18 years of experience and given up his family, and here are these people that have been in 12 weeks. And he just really got after him. And I was really happy the next day to see him at our graduation, because he said he may not be there. And I just remember we kind of locked eyes for a minute, and it was just that look where he knew I was saying thank you. And for him to he basically put himself in, for lack of a better word, in the line of fire, and took the heat for me, because they knew that I was worth moving on.
What was the weather like there?
I went in the summer, so it was pretty warm. I remember one day we were at Heat Cap 5, and that was kind of a nice day because we got, like, I think it was 40 minutes of break and then worked for 20 minutes. But we got the Happy Meal for lunch. It is a Happy Meal because it's not an MRE, but I actually kind of liked the MREs better. It was just like a cold sandwich.
Do you have any comrades that you remember well? One person?
I remember my battle buddies from both basic. Jennifer Bowen and Ashrafi was at my AIT training. And then I didn't really have a lot of people that I connected with at 115th, but I believe his name was Andrew. We got to be, getting to be friends. And then I dated a guy for a while that was in another company, Jonathan. And we kept in contact for a while, but right now I don't talk to any of them.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your experiences. No, that one doesn't apply to you, I'm sorry. Were you awarded any medals or citations? And how'd you get them?
I just got the general ones that everybody got. We got them at AIT. I remember they just kind of went down the line and gave them to us. And one, I think it's just a service medal, but everybody gets it for completing training. And then because I enlisted after 9/11, I got another ribbon. And my company was the first one where the entire company got that ribbon.
Okay. We're going to talk about your life a little bit. How'd you stay in touch with your family?
Wrote letters, a lot of letters. I actually still have all of them that my family sent to me.
Oh, that's cool. Did you feel any pressure or stress while you were there?
Yes, I did. My company of girls, they were not all that nice to me. And I think that's kind of where my senior drill sergeant got that, of being, having the core values instilled in me so much, because they put me through a lot of stuff. I mean, I remember they wouldn't even let me go to the bathroom without bugging me about stuff. And it was just, ugh.
Was there anything that you did special for good luck?
Not really.
How did you entertain yourself?
There really wasn't time to entertain ourselves in training. AIT, we got a little bit more freedom, and so we would go to there's a place called the Quarry, or the River Center, because we were in San Antonio, Texas. So we'd go there quite a bit. And
when were you?
sorry.
Where were you granted leave? How often?
The only time I got to come home within my enlistment was for Christmas. It was at AIT, and I think we got 2 weeks off. We actually kept it from my grandmother and surprised her in uniform at Christmas, and she was mad because we actually had pulled it off, and that's really hard to do with her.
Where did you travel while you were in service?
I started out in Missouri, and then went to Texas, and then from Texas I went to Louisiana.
Do you recall any particularly humorous or any unusual event?
One time in basic, I don't know how this happened, but they usually would of course wake us up, and it was usually like, wake up, wake up, wake up, and it kind of you're off. And that day, for some oddball reason, they played In the Jungle, the Mighty Jungle song. And we're all waking up and looking at each other like, what is going on? And then all of a sudden you heard, oh shit, they hung it up. And then about a minute later they came back on and like, wake up, wake up, wake up.
What do you think of the officers and the other fellow soldiers?
I really looked up to some of my leaders, all of them really, that were individual to me, assigned to me in basic. And then at AIT, I really liked my captain, because he was one of those captains where he was going to be right there with you. I remember we went over and sung happy birthday to the lieutenant colonel one morning, and he dropped us. We had to do push-ups, and I looked over and there was our captain doing push-ups with us. He also had an open door policy, and I thought that was really great, because he wanted to know what was going on with the soldiers.
Did you keep a diary or a personal journal?
I really didn't. I just had a lot of the letters that I sent home.
Mm-hmm. Okay, after service, do you recall the day that your service ended?
I did. It was kind of sad, because I was sexually assaulted, and in the military at that time, that was a death sentence as far as your career. And I had a captain that she wanted to be the best captain on base, and an open assault case was not going to do that. So she tried to really push my discharge through very quickly. And it didn't happen because I caught on to what she was trying to do and fought it. But the stop loss got moved up, which is a date when nobody can leave the military because you're getting ready to deploy. They moved it up, and I remember having like 4 sergeants surrounding me, forcing me to call home to see if they could come and get me before that date. And I was trying to kind of like give my dad hints to say no, but he didn't catch on. So I remember they just came and we packed up our stuff, and they literally escorted us off base. And that was it. I remember waking up the next morning in Mississippi and going, where the hell am I? Because all of a sudden, I just literally was dumped back into civilian life.
What difference did you notice about the world when you came home that was not there when you left?
It was, well, I kind of felt like I had to find my place again in town and reevaluate everything that I had, because I knew that I wasn't the person that left. So I had to kind of figure all that out again.
Mm-hmm. What did you do with your days and your weeks after you came home?
It was really tough because not having the treatment for the sexual assault led to self-injury behavior. And so I was in and out of the VA hospital a lot, in and out of other hospitals, because at that time the VA did not know what to do with a girl. They were not ready, and they knew that there were going to be more coming after me. And I actually was part of, I don't know if you call it presentation, but they told my story to try to say we needed a specific women's clinic. And the VA now has that. It's a clinic specifically for women that's in no boy zone. It's all women, which is great.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to work, or did you go back to school?
I tried to go back to school, and it was a mistake because I definitely was not ready for that. I kind of was under the impression I was just going to jump right back into life, and of course that didn't work. So like I said, I spent a lot of time in and out of the VA hospitals. Finally went to a really good rehab program. So it was August of 2005. It's called Safe Alternatives. It was in Chicago, which was nice. It was pretty close. And then after that, it was just kind of trying to find a job. I had a lot of temporary jobs. Haven't been able to find anything permanent still, and I've been out almost 11 years now. Yeah, it has been 11 years. And I just started going back to school in 2012 under the Voc Rehab program. Mm-hmm. So I'm going after that paramedic license that I wanted since I was 6.
Did you join any veterans organizations?
I haven't. I'm kind of in this unique little, it's not unique because most of us fit in it, but a lot of times when Veterans Day, you always hear them say retired or deceased for like the benefits and stuff for Veterans Day. And not everybody gets to retire. The majority of people were in there for years, but that doesn't mean that their commitment and their sacrifice was any less than the people that have been in for 20 years and got to retire. Some of us got hurt and didn't get to make it to that point. So that kind of upsets me a little bit that they don't have recognition for all of us.
Sure. Did your military experiences influence your thinking about the war? Or the military in general?
Not the war, because I knew that was just part of it. A lot. There were some girls that they cried and wanted to change their MOS when they figured out we were going to war, and I already knew it. So I was ready for that. As far as the military in general, though, like I said, at that time, the sexual assault thing was not. They didn't take care of it very well. It was more hide it, ignore it kind of a thing. And so that was really, really hard. It's a little bit better now because they've addressed that.
Sure. And how did that affect your your life?
It's really hard. I still kind of have effects from it. We do not know if I will be able to have a baby. I still have internal scars from it, from his fingers. And I still will have PTSD at night. I remember waking up and thinking that they were in my room and it was going to happen again. I've gotten better though over the years. I'm just going to try to focus on my life now.
Is there anything that you'd like to add that we have not covered in this interview?
Not really. I just really like to put my story out there so people know that this sexual assault has happened and it does need to be taken seriously. It's not something that you can just throw under the rug and ignore. And it needs to be addressed.
So what would you tell a woman going into the military?
I would honestly probably say no. Because it's not worth it. You don't know if you're going to be putting yourself out there for that. I know it still happens, and they say it's better, but you never know. So I would honestly say it's not worth the risk of the pain and everything that you go through after. Of course, if I had a chance to do it again, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Well, this concludes our interview. I would like to thank you very much for bringing your story to light, and we all need to know this. Thank you very much. Okay, I need a interview.
Did you outside to talk?